Hi everyone, and welcome back to my kitchen. This page in our taco manual is going to take us to one of the most common condiments that you will find in taquerias and torterias all over Mexico, and that is the chiles jalapeños in escabeche, or pickled jalapeños. Now, I'm starting off here by putting about 3 tablespoons, a good amount of olive oil, in a pan that I have over medium heat. You may wonder why in the world you would ever want to make pickled jalapeños when you can go to grocery stores from one end of our country to the other and just buy them in a can. Well, it comes down to 2 things. One is taste, because these are a much richer flavor. And the other thing is texture. The ones in the can are always mushy, and these are going to have a crispness to it. Okay, I've got my oil hot here. I've sliced up half of a medium onion. And that's a white onion, by the way. And I've got 5 cloves of garlic. Those are whole and just peeled. And I am going to let those cook. It'll just take a couple of minutes for the onions to turn translucent. And then I have here apple cider vinegar. I like the unpasteurized version that you can easily find in most grocery stores because it has the richest flavor. But it's always, all of the vinegars in the United States are almost always at 5% acidity, which is super high for making a pickle like this. So in the United States, I always recommend that people cut the American vinegar half and half with water. So I've done that. And when this is ready, we'll be ready to add everything else into the pot. Okay, now in goes everything else. Is a very simple preparation. I have some bias cut carrots that are going to go into the pot. A large carrot. I actually had 2 small ones to throw in here. A lot of people like to put in a handful of cauliflower florets at this point. And now we've got our jalapeños. These are really large jalapeños. So in the recipe that goes with this video, I give you a range of number of pieces based on the size of them there. Now our diluted vinegar is going to go in here. You want to have enough of this vinegar solution to basically just submerge everything. And here's what makes these taste so good. We're going to add a couple of bay leaves in here. I have some Mexican oregano and a little bit of thyme. Basically, you could use what is in the herb bundles that they sell, even in Mexican grocery stores in the United States. That usually has thyme, marjoram, and bay leaves. So you would put some of that. That's going to give it a really wonderful flavor. Don't put in whole peppercorns. You won't get any flavor. You have to grind the pepper to get the flavor out of it. So I have ground some pepper, and I'm going to put that there. And then we're going to stir it just to make sure that all of the herbs and spices now have been moistened by the vinegar mixture. I'll put this on here. We're going to let this come to a simmer and let it simmer for about 8 minutes or so until those jalapeños turn to a sort of olive color and the carrot is kind of a crisp tender. I'll show you what that's looking like when we get to it. Okay, one thing about jalapeños, they have just grown enormous, so that some of them even look like small poblanos these days. So it's really hard to give you an exact number for a recipe, how much you're going to want. And the other thing is that they vary so much in their heat levels. Used to, we had small jalapeños, and you could kind of count on them being a little less spicy than a serrano. These days, I can't really tell you anything at all. So buyer beware. Back to the recipe. Okay, they're looking just right here. They have lost all of that bright green color, but they're not completely what I would call olive drab at this point. I'm going to let these cool off just a little bit. And then, oh, I didn't put the salt in here. So I'm going to give it its salt and stir that and let it cool off a little bit. And then what I do is to store these in the refrigerator in one of these plastic delis. You could put them in a quart container, whatever it is that you like to store things in your refrigerator in. But the nice thing is that they'll last for months in your refrigerator. Of course, the texture will begin to change after 2 or 3 months there. But this was ones that were made yesterday, and you can see the beautiful herbs on the top of it, the carrots. But I just wanted to cut into this and have a little taste. They're so good and crunchy and not too vinegary. So make these, because they're going to make your taco nights just that much better.